As we pan in from Rhinecliff, New York, we zoom in on the Epicurean. Inside the Epicurean is a small studio where two young men are recording podcasts. One young man looks like a young mad scientist. The other young man looks like he either loves craft beer or says racist shit all the time. Let's listen in.
No, you see, us in Europe, we like super cool, super calm look. You Americans, you wake up in the morning, you do hair, you do face with makeup and everything. That's not really my style, you know. I wake up, my hair, I look how it look, and then I smoke 1/2, maybe 2/2 cigarette, and then, you know, I just go about my day, and it makes for super good fun time.
Listen here, feller. You're going to come around here talking about singing 1/2, smoking 1/2 or 2/2 cigarettes, and I'm going to tell you right now, that ain't right. In America, you do the whole pack, Marlboro Red, and then you talk about your feelings to your buddy when you're drunk and slightly into him.
No, that's not true. I see you, young Americans. What you do now is you smoke cherry fag vape instead of cigarettes. You don't get down like men no more. Like in my day, if you want to get fucked up, you drink beer, you smoke cigarette like men. You guys now, you drink Buzzball. You drink the Buzzball? Do I say this correct? The Buzzball?
I don't understand you, and because of that, I don't like you.
I don't understand you, and it's scary.
My mother called me xenophobic, and I tell you what, I'm a Hercules man. Do you get that reference at all?
Wait, say that one more time.
My mother called me xenophobic, and I told her I'm a Hercules man. Do you get that?
What's Xena and Hercules from? That's...
Oh, classic. There used to be a show called Hercules, but it followed Xena, the warrior princess. And that was on when I was a child, so it definitely wasn't on when you didn't exist yet.
Dude, that's a funny thing. Sometimes just through other people referencing things, you'll know, even if you haven't seen the thing itself, you'll sometimes know. Like, I think this is that movie Flashdance, where the girl pulls the bucket at the end and the water spills over top of her or whatever.
I know the reference. Yep, I've
never seen Flashdance.
Never seen the movie, yeah.
I've referenced it many times.
Yeah. I've seen it done in Family Guy, and also when my dad sends me videos of himself, that's when I see it. But, you know, like I've never actually seen the movie, so I don't even know who's in it. Do you know? Swayze, maybe?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That seems like that'd be a Patrick Swayze vibe.
Yeah. If you're listening to this, please comment below this reel that I'm inevitably going to make and use who was in this movie. Nobody's going to comment.
I was going to say, no, let's recast it ourselves.
Oh, okay. So as far as I know, there's a female lead and a male lead. Okay. The female lead showers herself in water. And the male lead, I guess, dances with this person. That's all I know about the movie. I'm going to assume there's a disapproving father.
Yeah.
There has to be.
100%.
That's a trope. Yeah. It has to be. Okay, so you pick one, and you can cast. Who do you want to cast?
I want Mel Gibson as the lead male role.
As the lead male? Present day Mel Gibson?
Yes. His ideology and everything.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, you know, he just made a movie.
Really?
That new Mark Wahlberg one that came out on a plane, like where he's on a plane and it's getting hijacked. It looked terrible. I'll be honest. It didn't look good.
Yeah, I mean, you have two...
I'm referencing another movie I haven't seen, but...
Two super racist guys making a movie about airplanes. I can't imagine what the term was going to be.
You must go see it.
Yeah, actually, something tells me I should. It's calling me. All right, so Mel Gibson, do we need an age-appropriate female lead for this?
No, I think we go opposite direction.
Opposite end. So like,
I want Jenna Ortega. I want a female lead that looks 14.
I want the young lady who plays Miss Marvel, and she's like early 20s. And also, it'd just be funny because they're not on a plane. I don't know why we thought we were setting this on a plane. Do you want to make the setting on a plane? Dancing on a plane?
Flash dance on a plane. The turbulence keeps spilling the bucket just prematurely.
She just gets a drop on her. Who would have to be Mel Gibson's age-appropriate father in this? Or it's the young lady's disapproving age-appropriate father.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, you think there's a male dancer who had a father figure in his life? No.
Now listen here, mister. You don't dance. No, so that's gonna get me canceled. No.
Crap, David. That's crap.
That's crap. That's hack, Dave. Fuck.
Dude, you want to hear some shit that happened last night, man?
Okay, this happened last night. We're fresh.
Yeah, I'm watching Last of Us with my stepdad.
Yesterday was 420, by the way. That's
Yeah.
when we're recording this. 421.
Happy Hitler's birthday.
Word.
And Columbine.
Happy Jesus round 2 birthday.
Jesus round 2 birthday.
Yep.
All the greats. No,
But Columbine was on 420.
Columbine was on 420. Someone just told me that.
Whoa.
Fairly
Did you
recently.
fact check it?
No.
Jamie, do we have a fact check? All right, we don't have a Jamie yet. So
It is bad that I think all of us do that, where someone tells us something and we just run with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then years later, someone's like, "That's not true at all."
That's highly inaccurate, actually. Fuck.
Do you know the Daft Punk guys are black?
No. Is that true?
No,
You
but
just made it up.
no, but that's propaganda I want to spread.
Propaganda. I have that joke where I said that the whole Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie or book was actually just a dream Charlie had as he was fading into death from starvation, and people believe that. And I was like, you guys will believe anything. That's fun to say on stage.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
fun. I had one where it was around the time that Diddy was getting charged with everything, 'cause, that was all in the zeitgeist. I was like, everyone's talking about that. No one's talking about this damn Daniel guy getting charged with the child sex trafficking. And I pretty much it was all just a dumb way of me going. I'm like, yeah, he really did love all white vans, especially the ones with no windows. And then just, literally by the end of it, I made that up. It was all a lie.
100% made it up. Allegedly, he may have done that, but we don't know that for sure, so can't get sued.
He
I
is from
think.
California.
Oh, well, there we go.
That is where the elite pedophiles all
That's, yeah.
reside.
That's where they, California for pedophiles is like Florida for NFL athletes, I think. They just produce the best ones.
Yeah.
When I say the best, I mean probably the worst, but somehow the best? I don't know how that works.
Florida is where degenerates just go to die.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, I busted my ass for 40 years in New York, or more than 40 years. No one's retiring at 40 anymore. People bust their ass for 60 to 70 years, and then they go to Florida because they're just like, I'm tired of the fucking cold. I'm just going to sit out by a pool and smoke cigarettes and talk about all my friends that have died.
I can't pass away until my skin is a rich leather.
And that's
how they do it. Yeah.
You turn to tumble leather in that nice
Yeah.
Florida sun.
They-
Before I get too off track, though, dude. So last night we're watching Last of
Right.
Us.
That's so bad.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
We literally went through 3 different states. All right, so last night.
Don't worry, listeners. I didn't forget where I was going. This last night, we're watching Last of Us. My mom comes in at one point and joins us. And then my sister comes in and she goes, my sister loves going like, I got tea for you guys.
She got the drum.
She comes,
Okay.
yeah, she goes, I got tea. Someone stabbed someone in the back. And we were like, what happened? Like, who deceived who? She's like, oh, no, literally the neighbor just stabbed the other neighbor in the back. The police are outside. And then she just casually went, okay, bye, and walked out. Like, I worked in childcare, and I remember kids would occasionally, kids say the darnest things. They'll literally just drop a, like, Mommy left Daddy, and then they'll bust a cartwheel out.
Yeah.
She almost had that energy. She was like, oh, no, someone just literally got stabbed. He's bleeding out.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
enjoy your show.
Yeah. Life in Kingston.
Yeah, just Kingston things. But I was like, that's past the point of tea. Alexa. That's a literal crime. Yeah, no,
Hey,
that's,
you're not spilling tea, you're spilling blood.
Yeah.
Rough. That's adorable. And she's how old?
oh, she's an adult.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, it would be funny. She's like 6. I just witnessed some murder. Just chill with it. Are you gonna use that on stage?
Oh, it might find its way on stage. I might
its
give
way.
it a go. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that would be that'd be a fun. Can you make a whole story out of it, or
A whole story out of like the what happened next door.
set the scene? You could talk about like. I wonder what caused this incident to happen, or do you actually know what caused the incident to happen?
Oh no, beats me is just white trash neighbors.
Oh yeah.
That
It's good. It's good that it's white trash. It's good. It's good. I feel more comfortable with that actually.
Yeah,
You know?
no, David, no, it's 2025. We can speak on any issues now. It doesn't need to be white trash.
Hell yeah.
Trump's in office. Mel Gibson's making movies. White guys are back.
Yeah, we're two straight white guys. We're figuring it out. We got all the power now. Sorry, I just looked into the camera for those that are not watching this on video because I can't figure out how to get it off the damn computer. It's so bad.
That's all right. It's a media art form anyways. I watch podcasts. I think me and you have talked about this before. We actually watch podcasts, and there's times where it's like, why am I doing this?
Yeah, like video sessions of just watching Stavros sit on a couch with somebody else that's also obese sitting on a couch. And we're just like, I'm watching this for the thighs? Like, what is this for?
These are my friends. I want to see what they're up to.
Yeah. That's so weird.
I will say that's why I actually do like that you do this show with all these different comedians that we've gotten to meet throughout the different areas. Because as I'm going to travel, like, just know for sure, I've had it in mind. I was like, I'm going to be tuning into Likable because I miss you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I get to keep in the know of what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we don't talk about a lot of current events. Like sometimes I'll have somebody in like right after a show. These episodes haven't come out yet. But somebody in like, right after a show and we'll get the scoop. And by the time the episode comes out, it's like 2 months later. And we're like, how did you feel about this show that happened yesterday? Like your story about last night is going to be like 6 weeks from now.
By then, you know what? I probably will have the details. It'll be in the paper.
Oh,
you know
yeah. All that stuff in the paper.
I was gonna say because we painted the scene as their white trash. It would be fun if it was just two brothers fighting over their own sisters. Or one dude's friend was trying to hook up with his sister. It's like, nobody fucks my sister
but me. Gotta love Caucasian problems. White people. Yeah, I mean, I like that we feature local comedians. Some of them from Jersey have started to reach out, which I think is cool. Like, I want to get to know everybody. It is like Jeff Boyle makes fun of the comedy scene a little bit, and he's just like, we only know personal details about each other from what we say on stage. You know, and that's just like, oh yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah, no, it's I remember him saying the same thing to me the one day, and there's a lot of truth to that. I think and you only get so much from how vulnerable, if for lack of a better term, someone is with their material, like how much in depth. Like Jeff's actually the prime example of that, where I love Jeff. I've gotten to know him a little bit better, and you know what I mean, the time of knowing him. But he's the most mysterious man. You try deciphering who Jeff is based off of his act. Mm-hmm. Can you?
I've known Jeff from work. He's a patron at the bar I manage, and I've known him for 4 years now, 4.5 years, and like maybe a little bit before that from like some social settings. I still don't know a ton about him as far as like I know who his dad is, I know all that kind of stuff, but I don't know like, you know, what gets this guy moving at night, you know what I mean, or the day. You know, I assume he's a night walker. Yeah. I don't know what gets him. I don't know what motivates that guy, and that's interesting. You know, interesting little fellow.
No, I told you it's my joke that unfortunately came true. Wrong person. I had the wrong person, but I made the joke after we filmed because we filmed this project last Sunday now. It was like a little short series that I wrote where pretty much it's a purgatory, basically. It's like a moral court that takes place before people are allowed to enter into heaven because they did something that's in a moral gray area. Jeff played Judge Jesus in the series or whatever. And after we finished up, we're all sitting eating pizza. It's me and a couple of the other people from there. I think you and Jeff have already left at that point. Mm-hmm. But I was just like, yeah, hopefully nothing happens in the next week where we just see a news story where it's like local Rhinebeck local Jeff Boyle, 10 children found in his basement. Little did we know, not Jeff, but then someone else who was a part of the series who will remain nameless, gotten some
legal problems,
and I was just like, all right, we're down a juror. We're yeah,
for sure. I didn't know we were going to talk about this. I'm going to be honest, buddy.
I know. Let's go for it.
Yeah. Well, we won't get
I was gonna say we don't have
into
to go into
details.
the nitty gritty of it.
But it was probably the last person you'd expect, which is crazy. But also just but Jeff
allegedly.
I will
say we'll leave it as allegedly for now, hoping that, you know what I mean, there was just a big misunderstanding or mistakes have been made. Even if the person did do this, I then hope that they just get whatever help they need or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sorry to even tread on the topic. It's one of those things where it is on the forefront of my mind. I can't pretend it's not there.
Yeah. On the way in today, it's so funny. It feels so fake now that we're talking about it. Because, like, on the way in today, I'm just like, I don't know if we're going to talk about it, if we're not going to talk about it. Like, doing the whole thing. And then we're just, like, riffing and being silly for the first, like, couple minutes of this. And then, obviously, it takes a very sharp turn.
Yeah, no. Well, you know what it was, too? Part of it is, I don't know, our way of dealing with, at least I joke about shit, whether it's me or something else happening in my life. So initially, I was talking to my mom and stepdad about what had transpired, whatever. Also, fucking whoever's listening is gonna be like, "What happened? What happened?"
Oh yeah.
So, someone was.
Wait, let's leave them in the dark. I think.
I'm not saying the person's name. I was gonna say the alleged crime.
Let's leave that out too. I don't want anybody to search it if that's
fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But basically, my mom was just like, "Who do you think's gonna make the first joke about it?"
Yeah.
I think people in Kingston are gonna be making jokes about this. She was like, "Oh yeah," because she's like, "He's been an asshole to a lot of people. Like, not a lot of people. That's not fair to say, but a few people." Mm-hmm. He's like, "So those people probably, yeah." And I was like, I wasn't thinking I was gonna make a joke about it, this and that. But the next day, I had the perfect joke about it. Like. And it's like, all right, damn it. Yeah, no, I guess I'm not above making jokes about terrible.
It's how we handle shit, though. And if the person that is the subject of this matter hears this, I hope they do understand that, like, it's a lot for us to process. And, like, humor is how we've processed all problems in our lives so far, I would say. So, I mean, you know, we're joking about it publicly, which is probably not the best, but also we're trying to be as ambiguous about it as possible.
For their sake, and that's no, you nailed that hammer on the head there. And I will say, it's not. I do it to my own family for what it's worth. Like, I try to check things out with them beforehand. Like, I talk about my stepdad telling me and my pee wee football team about his Prince Albert cock piercing and doing porn, and it's one of those things where it's like. I checked it. I'm like, hey, I got this bit. I'm probably going to do it. Cool. And it can get you into some trouble. I think I told you, I had one of my brothers was pretty upset because I told a story where I used the word manic to describe his state in the story. And I was also calling myself manic. I was on doing something manic myself, but he did not appreciate that. He did not like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like I have a whole set about my parents being split up and me having to go to, like, childhood therapy as a kid. And, like, the first time I read it to my mom, she was like, I don't like that. And, like, my sister, like, didn't like it either. And my sister was like, I don't know why she wasn't the bad guy in that story at all. Not that my mom was the bad guy either, but it was, you know, they were young and, like, going through some stuff. But, like, they did trust me to, like, make it funny, and I think that was, like, kind of you know, cool of them to, like, trust me to laugh about it. And now, I mean, what's going on is much more severe than anything we've discussed so far.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but I hope if they do listen to this, I do hope they know that, like, you know, we hope all the allegations are false, and we hope this gets resolved quickly and as pain-free as possible. If they are true, however, you know, we're sorry, but, like, you know, please get help, you know? Yeah. Weird. Man, it's so weird to have this happen in our community.
But my brother kind of nailed it yesterday. We were over there for Easter, and he was just like, yeah, comedy draws out. Everyone's got their, like, we're fucked up people. We were a little bit crazy. It's just what spectrum of fucked up are we?
Yeah.
Like, I'm definitely, I'm a bit of a kook, but
No. What? No. What? I mean, I'm a fucking weirdo too. Like, I'm just emotionally shut down and, silly all the time. But it's probably for bad reasons. You know what I mean?
you're masking, David. What's going on?
I'm super mask.
I was gonna say, but you know what though? What's preferable? And I'm gonna throw shade on this person. I love this person. This is a famous person. Don't worry.
It's becoming a gossip podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. Not
Gab
Likeable.
with Gabe.
Yeah. We are still a little shook from the news. It did affect our community. I don't know who knows. I don't know if nobody on this side of the river knows that I'm aware of. I don't know about your side of the river. I don't know if anybody's reached out to you. Don't say names, but anyway,
That's the thing. It's kind of unknown. And
so we're spreading it. Son of a bitch, dude. We have to cut it.
Dude, it's gonna be.
Yeah. By the time this comes out, it'll be May 14th when this episode drops. You think by then people will know?
I think so. Also, I'm gonna sound like a dickhead now, David, but I think you're overestimating your outreach a little bit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Everyone tuned into Likeable and knows now.
Well, I'm gonna say that my outreach isn't huge, but the people that have reached out to say like, hey, I like this joke from the episode, this was a funny part, like or the shout outs that they've gotten have been I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know this person listened. So it makes me aware that like in the following on Instagram is only like 200, and which is not big at all, but it's weird to see who is listening, you know what I mean, which makes me think like, I don't know who's listening. You know what I mean? But yeah, certain people have reached out from the other side of the river community too, and I'm just like, oh man, I hope they know by then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you never know who's listening. Sometimes even the FBI.
Yeah. Son of a bitch, Gabe.
Fuck, what are you doing? No,
It's okay.
I will say, no, you're not wrong. There is times where I've had people just out of the blue be like, that's where social media is a weird, scary thing, I guess, where it does, I think it's a balance. There's good or bad that can come with it. 'Cause there's times where I've talked about this a bit where people are like, why aren't you doing the social media thing? And I'm just like, I fucking don't like it. Like, I don't like it. It's just not, like, I want to just do the work of it. I see that it's a tool and you can use it to, you know what I mean, platform yourself and get yourself out there. But also, I want to make sure I'm just doing the work of it, of like making, like writing, making my jokes the best I can. If it's not even stand-up adjacent, because I write in other regards, like TV show ideas, so the short series idea, film, that kind of stuff.
Desist.
Yeah, I have a horror movie that I really want to write, and so like you know what I mean. I have other outlets for stuff, but the social media I find for me to be a distraction at times.
Interesting.
Like, and you'd given me some good advice where it's like you should just try to learn to moderate it, because I do struggle with that all or nothing thinking. Where,
yeah, a lot of people have that issue though.
Yeah, but it definitely can be a good tool. I think once I have myself a little more established, just as a comedian, like I know, like I got my voice and delivery down. Because even that I'm still toying with now. You know what I mean? I think it's always you're always in practice, but then I might feel a little better about putting stuff out there and burning it. I put a few things out there, but I more so just stuff that I was all right with burning. I don't want to burn the whole act.
Yeah.
Or not have any anonymity whatsoever. Like that's a strange change now, because that's another thing my brother had mentioned, where he's like, he'd watch Tim Dillon's new special. And Tim Dillon's new special, I watched it last night. It's very good.
Came out like 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's brand new.
Contextual reference. Sorry.
Yep. No. Good point. No, but Tim Dillon is a great podcaster. It's one of those things where he could just, you know what I mean, go off on any topic. So his stand-up is like a much more it's great for a reason, because you got to stay within the confines of 40 to an hour. But there's like things he talks about in the special where it's like, oh, I've heard this dude, he has way more opinions on this, he could go way harder on this. And my brother nailed it, where he was like, yeah, comedian, like, it's half of being a stand-up now is now being a personality.
Yeah. I think
At least online, I would say.
At least online, yeah, for sure. I think it is. So I'm doing a lot of different things right now, and I think it is. I agree with you, the personality aspect of it. However, I think the important thing to do is to be who you really are on stage, which I think you try to do, right? You say what you think is funny. Like I say what I think is funny. I'm trying to tell stories from my life of things that happen, and I'm trying to act that way. Especially, you know, like I'm trying to do cleaner material because I'm trying to be a cleaner person, you know, like so that is my goal. So I think with the online presence of just, I don't know, like I really do think it helps me stay a little bit more accountable for how I present myself, I think. And then on top of it, like doing these podcasts and doing this, like it's called Likable because somebody in real life called me Likable. And then I'm trying to talk to other comics about, you know, their stuff, which is cool, and trying to remain likable. And even in like this episode, for example, like the subject matter might not be the most likable stuff, but I would like to think that how we're handling it is likable, you know, because it's like, you know, we're dealing with some serious shit, and this is going to happen in any person's life. We're just comedians, or we're trying to be comedians, you know? But yeah, like the podcast, the social media, all of this kind of stuff, like I do feel like it keeps me in a creative flow. So that way, like, because I'm used to talking in long form on the podcast, getting into a story, like it kind of, they feed each other a little bit, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think sometimes you could hash out a story a bit. If I were you, I'd say storytelling. That's your MO. You're great at it. We've talked about it. Like,
thank you.
I think you could do it here and like hash out details of it. You know what I mean? Figure out what the parts of it are the funniest, what parts are like essential to the story before you even go on stage. Like it's yes, there's plenty of people that just write. There's people that write on stage. Mm-hmm. You could kind of write a bit in your podcast, just like in talking and seeing kind of what hits in normal conversation, and then you're like, oh,
totally doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Totally doing that. There's like little jokes that like I'll bring to a podcast that I'm working on, and like, because for me the formula for storytelling currently is, because you only have like 5 minutes or 10 minutes when you do sets at this level, is like, or my level I should say, like I've got that first minute, I'm trying to thank the host or welcome the crowd if I am hosting, and then drop a joke that people are really going to like, so that they trust me when I start the story that I'm funny, right? So thank somebody, make them laugh quick, and then get into the story where they can follow me. And because if I'm not funny and I just jump into the story, it's like, where is he going with this, you know? But immediately if I hit him with it, so I'm testing out those jokes, I think, a lot on this show, those like one-liners, because I only have 5 minutes at like open mics, and when the story is like new, I have to like do the whole thing there. I don't have a minute to waste on at an open mic. You know what I mean?
No, that makes sense, and I also think that they're almost those jokes become time markers throughout a story, where it's like I get to this first part, like,
oh yeah,
the first joke I get to, then I got this one, and it helps you kind of keep the whole ordeal in order, so you don't go, because then you have a little bit of freedom to go off on tangents and do this and that. But you're not wrong. You have 5 minutes, and I've run into that now with like, because I'm not a big storyteller, but I've got a couple I've done on stage. I realized the last time we recorded a pod, I like glazed, because it's funny, because we're doing this to the poor listeners now with the like, we know something you don't, and you don't get to know. But I mentioned last time, I was like, yes, ever since that whole Costa Rica ordeal took place or whatever, when I was 22, I like took this very impromptu trip to Costa Rica, where I just kind of on a impulsive whim, like I booked this flight at midnight and flew out the very next morning. I packed all the essentials, you know what I mean? Weed, mushrooms, trail mix, whatever young man needs for a vacation. And my first night out there, I stayed up, like I struggle with insomnia from time to time in my life. I was up throughout the night trying to do some writing. I've become a much better writer since I stopped smoking weed, because it's one of those things where if I truly look back at what I wrote that night, it was probably like all of 2 paragraphs and smoked like 6 joints, and it's just like, call it a successful night. But like 4:35 a.m. rolls around. I go to walk to go get a coffee, and as I'm walking, a dude approaches me and goes, "Tienes papeles? Do you have any papers or whatever?" And I'm a very hospitable guy. I like looking out for my fellow person.
Mm-hmm.
I know the struggle. You know what I mean? So I had some papers. I give him some, and then from there, this guy was like, "Oh, tú necesitas mote? Like, do you need weed or whatever?" And I had my own weed. I was one of those things. I wasn't trying to buy some weed in another foreign land, because that's sketchy waters. I know you're not a smoker yourself. I'm no longer a smoker, but
never smoked, but yeah,
you can get laced. You know what I mean? It's not regulated like it is here in the U.S. now. So.
Also, if he's like trying to bust you, ending up in a jail out there, it's just smart to not. Or did you assess and profile this person immediately and be like, this person's not undercover?
He looked very likable. No, I'm playing.
It's just me with a brown face on.
No, it was I'll be honest, the dude seemed a little sketchy. As anybody, when you're alone at 4:30 in the morning and there's just a dude out dwelling in the streets, it's one of those things where...
And not a farmer.
Yeah, night times where the creeps come out to crawl or whatever, or early morning. So... when he said, he was like, "Do you need weed?" I was like, "No, man, I'm good." I just kind of tried to keep it pushing, and he was like, "No entiendo." And he started like walking with me or whatever, and like very quickly there was a quick 3 shutter steps like behind me, arm shot around my neck. I start getting choked out, and I'm very dumb and high. I just ate mushrooms right before I left to go get this coffee, because I think I'm gonna spend a nice day in Costa Rica. I'm gonna trip. I'm gonna go to the museum. I'm gonna take in some of the culture. I'm gonna become cultured.
Yeah. And you got a real life experience.
Well, dude, as I'm getting choked, I looked to this dude that I'd just given the papers to, because I just did him a solid.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, "Oh, bro, like, yo, like, give it like with my eyes, like, come help me." And he comes over and he begins ripping my phone from my hand.
Oh my god.
That was like you set me up.
He was distracting you.
Very,
Yeah.
very good, very good. You got me.
Very sneaky, sir.
And dude, I wake up. They drop me on my head, so I wake up like very confused and concussed, and mushrooms peak hitting. Like, I legitimately had a solid minute of not knowing like who I was or my environment whatsoever.
Are you on the street or in a hospital at this point?
I am on the street.
Okay.
Like laid out, head propped against a wall. And it was one of those weird things where, how architecture just looks different in other countries, like the land itself. I looked around, I'm like, this isn't America. Like, it was one of the things that was my honest first thought.
Maybe it was a dream and I'm still in the States.
Dude, this is where life is trippy. This is the trippiest thing that ever. This is for my people that do drugs out there that are listening. The trippiest thing that I will say has ever happened to me in my life. And this is the part that my brother got upset about, so I'm going to leave his name out like he had wished.
Yep.
But he had told me a story 6 months prior when he was very drunk on New Year's. We were, you're having some drinks. Sometimes some stories you wouldn't have heard otherwise come out. And he told this story where he was like kind of more or less doing a similar thing. Like, he was in Europe visiting some friends from college. Like, so he's in foreign lands getting fucked up. And he was drunk rolling around the streets of Europe looking for like, when you're people that drink know that you want tobacco, you want a ciggy, and he started just looking on the street for cigarette butts, like half smoked buds to smoke or whatever. Yeah, no, some
Yeah.
You see why I use the word manic to describe the behavior?
Yeah.
And I'm not above it. I still have my moment. I tend to have manic nature of my own. We've both our grandparents, may they rest in peace, both our grandmas were like schizophrenic.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I come from crazy lineage. You know what I mean? There's a reason I don't do drugs and stuff anymore. It's because I know it's like you're genetically disposed to going off the deep end a bit.
Yeah, it might happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be happening right now, dude. But either way,
I just undid my pants.
Are you scared, dude? No,
I am very hard.
No, but the first thing I recollected was this story
Mm-hmm.
that he had told me, but not as like, oh, this is a story my brother had told me. I recollected it as, oh, I am my brother and I am in Europe and I must have gotten too drunk and passed out on the street. So like I like slowly was picking myself up, like, all right, I guess time to find some cigarettes. Like that was literally, I wasn't even a cigarette smoker at this point. Like I vape, but that was like the thought in getting up. And then I saw my glasses, my coveted green glasses here, staple of my look. And I see them, it clicked where it was like, oh, I'm Gabe. And the night started to kind of come back to me.
Okay.
Very sobering moment.
Yeah.
That was very sobering. I was like, oh my God, like this is bad. Because I also realized then they took, my shoes are gone. So I'm barefoot in the Costa Rican streets. My bag that had my passport is gone.
Damn.
I got lucky. The one thing they did leave me with was my wallet. The guy had snatched my phone from my hand, but he did leave me with my wallet that had my ID in it.
Okay.
Which without that, I don't know how long I'm stuck in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Problem is, when I wake up, dude, I don't know how to get back to my hostel.
Yeah.
Like, as weird as this is to say, because again, I'm a false narrator. Like, I'm not the most reliable narrator, obviously, in this scenario. Like, I am very badly head injured and
Not sober.
not sober. But I wasn't in the same location where I had gotten mugged.
Interesting.
So I don't know if they dragged me around, you know what I mean, to a different, because it was a main strip that I was on.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they, you know what I mean? That
makes me think of Monty Python. Bring out your dead. Bring out your dead. You ever see that skit?
I have not.
Oh
no,
my
but I will
God.
be. I will be looking it up.
Yeah, there's like they do like this, medieval times. I'll paint it for you. It's like medieval times. There's a plague going on, and they're just pulling a cart through a village, and they're just like, "Bring out your dead, bring it," and then it's just
and
like they're just
filling it with
throwing
dead
bodies,
people.
because it's the plague.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
This is no, and I think they like just wanted to bring me not in the main eyesight. The irony is that I looked kind of how I look now, kind of homeless. I'd seen people passed out on the street exactly how I looked.
Yeah.
So that was another issue I ran into. Police did not want to help me.
Yeah.
Like I
who is
talked
this
to
guy?
multiple police officers, and I'm like, all right, crazy, get lost.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think it's because I'm white. I'm in foreign land. Well, and that was something I came to learn. Costa Rica has a weird paradox where they need tourists because it's one of their main infrastructures of their economy, but they hate tourists because we ruin like a lot of their natural resources. We open up all you can eat, all you can drink resorts in a place with finite resources. Like it is. So they do have a weird adversarial nature with us. But I start like stumbling around trying to find my hostel, dude. I'm in pain. I have like a sharp pain in my leg. Like my head is beat, dude. Like it was weird though again because I almost like sobered up in knowing what was going on, and it was like okay, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I'm like I need to get back to the hostel. I need to report this to the police or whatever. Try to figure out how to get a passport to then get home or whatever.
Some kind of embassy.
Yeah, which I didn't know. Luckily, there is a U.S. embassy in Costa Rica, but I wouldn't learn that for hours to come. As I'm stumbling around, though, they go late there. So there's a 4:30, like 5 a.m. or whatever. There's just still this nightclub that people are kind of outside emptying out of, smoking or whatever. And ironically, they're playing "Today Was a Good Day" by Ice Cube. And I had a very bitter moment. Like it's not, Mr. Cube. It's not a good day. It's a very bad day. And these two locals start trying to help me out because they just were like, dude, like what happened to you or whatever. And they could see I was very scared. Obviously, I'm afraid of every and anybody at this point after what has just happened. But they were the nicest cokehead and crackhead I would ever come to meet. I call them, in my story, I call them the two most unorthodox guardian angels of all time. And the first dude was this guy, Randall, and he basically tells me, like, he's the one that spoke English. He was formerly a tour guide in Costa Rica, so he, you know what I mean, he had a loose feeling for the language, and he's like, I'm a good person. I just want to help you. Like, I don't know why he's Russian now.
Yeah,
I just want
the only voice you can do.
Yeah, no, I'm not great with voices. He's like, my name is Randall. I'm a good person. I just want to I have a wife. I have 2 kids. I do love cocaine. That's the problem, but I just want to help you. Or
He's
whatever.
like coming to terms with his own downsides while he's trying to help you.
Yeah, I appreciated how upfront he was. It was one of the things where I'm
yeah.
like, oh, he's very honest. Okay.
Sometimes.
But then his bud was just like, yo soy Ariel. He didn't speak in English. He goes, yo soy Ariel, bad person. I rob, I kill. I know hurt you though. And it was one of those moments where it's like, okay.
Normally, I hurt people.
Ariel
Today.
just looked like he robs and kills people. This man was donning so many tattoos.
Thought you were gonna say a different word.
No, right.
I was like, Jesus.
No,
Christ.
this is what word?
Huh?
I'm trying to trick you into saying it.
Well, obviously it's.
Oh no, but this is the scariest looking man, and he There's one of those weird moments where they brought me in for a hug or whatever. They're like, "Oh, it's okay, man. We got you. You're good, or whatever." I realized I think this was the first time I've been hugged this year. As sad as that is to say, one else thing that clicked that moment. I'm like, "Oh fuck." You see why I was taking this trip? I was in a bad place. I was in a bad way. But they start trying to help me find my hostel, and Ariel, I basically come to learn he'd escaped from prison 2 days prior. That person. He was literally an escaped convict. He's smoking crack from a one-hitter the whole time. Because at one point he was like, "Tu fumar?" Like, "Do you smoke?" I was like, "Yeah, I smoke." And I think he's gonna have some weed or some cigarettes or whatever. And it's just like, no. How do you, como dice? Crack. I love crack. And I was like, oh, very, very cool. You want some? No, I'm good. That's cool. But he's smoking his crack. For every hit of crack he takes, like every 20 minutes, his energy just gets weirder and weirder. Like he seemed much less interested in trying to help me, and I realized like, oh, this guy wants something. And he basically has Randall translate to me like that he wants me to get them some coke or whatever.
Huh.
It was like, we'll help you out, we'll be like your bodyguard of sorts, but like we've been out partying all night, we need some coke or whatever. And I got kind of annoyed. I'm not gonna, like, it was one of the things where this is the only time where I kind of like lashed out as much as I could, where I'm like, what about my look right now? And like, do you think I have money? Like, I just got mugged. It was a very weird thing where it's like, you're trying to rob me a second time. Like, but he eventually just started to fall back and then just peeled around an alley at one point, never to be seen again. So Ariel's gone. Randall, good guy, good person. He sticks with me.
Russian.
No, not at all. No, these are Costa Rican.
In
locals.
my mind, he's Russian.
Yeah, no, I used to be great with Spanish voices. This is why I don't do voices on stage. I'm always afraid I'm gonna lose it. But he basically tells me that like he's like, no, I just want to help you. I don't need anything or whatever. And this is a hours and hours ordeal. Like, he'd walked me the totally wrong direction. He was like, no, I know the town. I know. I don't know, because I don't know where my hostel is. Even right now, I'm trying to recall the name. It's one of those things. I definitely couldn't recall it in that moment under the circumstances. But for the time passing or whatever, the more he sobered up from when I had found them, like when I'd ran into them. So he went from like, he also kept reminding me he's a good person, which good people don't have to tell you they're a good person.
Oh, uh-oh.
David, what you hiding? No, but if someone just keeps going randomly, like, no, I'm a good person. I'm good. Don't worry, I'm a good person. By like the 12th time, you're like, I don't think this guy's a good person.
Yeah.
And he started like asking me to get him coke like every like 10 to 15 minutes, and then it hit a point where it got like, I would say this is around like 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Again, I left my hostel at 4:35 in the morning.
Yeah,
so
beautiful sunny day.
Yeah, it got sunny out. It was bright. It was glaring lights for my concussed, mushroom-tripped eyes. But he started like keeping a hold of the back of my shirt, because I think he knew before I even had planned it, like, I'm going to need to get away from this dude. This guy is dangerous. And at one point, I even went over to, I saw like they have red cabs in Costa Rica, and I went over to a red cab and was like, hey, I'd remembered the name of the hostel at this point. I'm going to leave their name out of this, but I was just like, could you get me back here or whatever? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I hopped in. I was trying to get away or whatever. And Randall came over and started berating the cab, like started hitting the cab and like being like, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" And the dude kicked me out of the cab. And I was like, I was like, "Dude, it's an emergency. Please get me away from this person. Like, I need to get away from him." And the guy just, "No, get out." I was like, "You're gonna make me get out to this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah." You're killing me. So then, obviously, Randall's pissed. Like, one of the things he knows I was about to take off, and I was very honest. Like, "Dude, I'm sorry, but you're scaring me. You said you didn't need anything. Now you're like demanding money or cocaine from me that I don't have." Like, and at one point where he just is looking, he was not looking. I just took off and ran. Like,
You ran from Randall.
I ran from Randall
Barefoot.
Well, this is a little detail here.
Randall give you your shoes.
No. Funny enough,
Yeah.
this is something I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Ariel, before he had taken off, offered me his shoes.
Oh.
He offered me the shoes off his feet. That's why I say it was the weirdest thing where these guys were like, I don't know if it was like in order to be like, "I did this for you, so now you need to do this for me." But initially off rip, he offered me, you know, the trope of the all black Air Forces?
No.
Air Force Ones, all black Air Forces. Anyone that wears those, that's a dangerous person. You don't want to be around them.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been a trope for forever, but these were not only all black Air Forces, but they were beaten to a T and had no laces in them. Like, I was like, if I put these on, I will have AIDS. Like, they were that. And but I was just like, "Dude, I can't take your shoe." Then you're in the same boat as me. Like, "No, keep your shoes. I appreciate that. It's very nice. Just keep your shoes or whatever." But then as we passed with some other random local at one point who was just like, fuck happened to the gringo or whatever. And I got, the banditos got him, like robbers got him or whatever. Guy gave me a pair of dress shoes of his just to wear or whatever. So I'm sporting around these like size 12 men's dress shoes. If I didn't look homeless enough as it, dude, I can see why the cops weren't helping me. I have a bloodied head. I haven't slept in a couple of days. Like, I look bad. And when I ran, though, I ran out of the dress shoes because I was so scared. I was going to stop and make sure to grab them or whatever. And you know when like a puppy gets lost and weirdly finds its way back home from like a town over? I didn't look up or look where I was going when I was running. I just primal, like, just get away from this dude. And by the time I stopped running and looked back up, I was back on the main strip where my hostel was.
Wow.
After hours of searching. So I go into the hostel or whatever, tell them what happened. They basically draw me a map for how to get to the embassy, which is 2 to 3 miles away. I stay there for that night or whatever. And the next morning, I'm gonna head to the embassy. They're like, wait till around 7, 8 a.m. So there's other people out, and you know what I mean. You can stay close to them. It's funny. One of the front desk people even tells me, they're like, why are you here on vacation anyways? Because I was up through the night. There's like the overnight guy, and obviously I didn't sleep after going through all this. He's like, what are you doing vacationing here anyways, man? Like, why aren't you in Manuel Antonio? And he's naming all like the more touristy spots. And I was like, I've been here once prior, and that stuff's cool, but it's all Americanized. Like, I don't want to. You go to an all-inclusive resort when you're in like Cancun or Costa Rica, you're just literally with other Americans. You're not taking in any of the culture. I actually want to like learn other people's way of life, this and that. I got a real authentic Costa Rican experience, a little more than I bargained for. But he was like, you know, this place is like San Jose is ranked top 10 most dangerous and worst cities in the world. I was like, wait, really? He's like, yeah. You didn't know that? He's like, I don't live here. He's like, I come here for work. He was like, this place is terrible. He basically said, when I walk around with my family, whenever we do have to come in here to shop or do stuff, like, I pretend that I have a knife on me at all times. Basically, you have to present yourself as dangerous so people won't mess with you.
Hence the black Air Force Ones.
Yes. So me lollygagging in my drug rug, smoking a joint, like, going to get some coffee. Like,
victim.
they were just like, thanks God for. Also, those guys that robbed me, like, they probably had a day. They got shrooms, they got weed, they got a brand new Nintendo Switch. They're probably playing 2K high, having the time of their life. Like,
still today.
It was nice, like American dispensary weed opposed to their weed.
Right, yeah.
So
actually, is it better down there versus up here? No.
No. I've bought weed in other countries. No, it's not. No, we are making crack now.
It's like really good stuff.
Weed is too strong now. There's a reason people that were stoners back in the 70s and 80s were like, I don't smoke your weed now. This shit's
interesting.
It's scary. It's why when I stopped smoking, I tried to go back to it and was like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
This is
potent as fuck.
just all the worst thoughts at 1,000 miles a minute. But you see why this is a hard story to tell in 5 minutes. But,
Oh yeah, because we're going on 20.
I know, and that's why I don't do all these tangents when I do it on stage. The quickest I do it in 7 minutes. It's one of those things where I want to get it down to a 5-minute concise story. But I get to the embassy or whatever. I get an emergency passport. Obviously, when I was back at the hostel, I contacted my mom off the hostel phone and let her know what was going on. And pretty much the embassy, from there, like, I was able to get, I think, a taxi. They provided me, like, they looked out and got me a taxi to the airport. Because vacation's over. I had no desire to be there anymore. And I was going to say, I'll go back to, like, the story I tell on stage a little bit, because it all comes full circle to, like, me to tell this or whatever, where I'm like, I sat at the airport bar. I'm pretty much, like, a crow's nest of bloodied hair, like, restless eyes, like I had said. I say in the story size 12 men's dress shoes, but funny enough, what I was wearing was flip-flops that my taxi driver gave me.
Huh.
Yeah, now I'm just wearing a random man's flip-flops. My feet, by the way, were calloused over for months after this. I stepped in throw up at one point with my bare feet.
Gross.
Yeah, no, it was rough, dude. And but I'm at the airport bar or whatever, sitting there, just not even getting fucked up because I have no money. I'm literally just waiting for my flight. And the bartender was just like trying to be, you know what I mean, be good fun, make a joke. He's like, "Hey, gotta be careful around these Costa Rican women, my man." And I went, "Nah, this was two dudes," and not thinking about how that sounds in this context or whatever. And then I kind of told him the story, and it was one of those weird things where I told that guy the story, and I told another person on my flight. Cause it was one of those things where nobody saw me and was like, and didn't have questions. It was like, what the fuck happened to you, bud? And it was in talent. It was one of those stories where once I got home, I started trying to write about it because it was such a wild experience that I was like, I almost wanted to make like not even need to add much to it, but a dramatized like movie version of it. And like almost even think of The Hangover. It's like we fucked up, like that, but it's like I fucked up. I'm in Costa Rica. I don't have it. Like, I need to get home. And in trying to write about it, I was like, I've told you about this. I was putting myself back in this very traumatic thing that had happened. So I started then just writing stand-up bits to kind of counterbalance it and try to be good. There's even another thing, like I don't include this when I tell the story on stage because this isn't funny, or it's one of those things where you want to talk about just adrenaline and everything covering up whatever. When I got back to New York or whatever, because it wasn't over with just flying back into New York. I flew back into, because they got me on the first flight they could out of there. I'm back at a different airport than the one I flew into. My car keys were also, so even if I was at the airport that had my car, I don't have car keys to drive my car home.
Damn.
So I have to transit around from the city through like Long Island Railroad train to then, from basically JFK, I believe it was, to the Long Island Railroad for hours on end, all trying to figure this out, still on no sleep and concussed, to my brother's place because he lived behind Denville Station, the brother that was in Europe or whatever.
Okay.
He's now an adult living a very normal functioning life or whatever, so he wasn't happy that I'm showing up at his doorstep, you know what I mean, 8 in the morning. It's like, I need you to drive me home. But by the time I got home and saw my mom again or whatever, she pointed out, she's like, "What happened to your leg?" I had a fucking leg wound. I'm pretty sure I got shanked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, by the dudes that mugged me, there was like a very clear leg wound.
Yeah, let's just stab him in the leg.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, so that was like another part of it where it's just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I'm glad I'm okay. Luckily, I joke, it was a third world shank. I don't think it was a good shank because it didn't.
No, I mean, you get that fucking first world shank. I mean, that's a clean blade. It's big.
Yeah.
You know, serrated probably.
Yeah, no, instead this was just a little like...
Yeah, probably like a toothbrush or something.
I had a little leg puss.
Yeah.
A little something to play with on the plane ride home.
Yeah. You know, probably stick a pencil in for when you're done writing, you know, while you're
party
sitting there.
Trick.
Yeah, you're a cool guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be cool.
Look at my leg pussy.
Exactly. That's what they made it for, actually.
You know how guys twiddle with the mic stand when they're on stage? What if I twiddled with my leg pussy as I did stand up?
Did it get stitches?
I think so. Yeah, I got stitches, and then I got like an MRI
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. One time, actually, again, I'm unreliable narrative because I was in such a bad. I can't remember if I got stitches or not. I think it might have closed up by the time I was home.
Oh my God.
It looked rough, but I don't think it was open leg pussy. I think I was
Okay.
like, in those countries.
Like asshole.
No. You know, in those countries where they sew the women's pussies closed.
Oh God, no. What countries is that?
It exists.
Okay.
Google it.
Yeah, you gotta Google a lot of stuff after this episode.
Is it?
Jesus Christ.
I will say, just to go a little bit 'cause that's basically that story. That's what happened there, and the reason I say a lot of good came from it, because it made me have to kind of take a look in the mirror and be like, hey, maybe stop running from your problems and taking like these impulsive trips places. Like, figure out what you want to do with your future. And I loved writing, but it actually got me like writing more, doing stand-up more, meeting all these great people that I wouldn't have known otherwise. So, I'm always trying to be an optimistic with things. Like, a lot more good than bad came from that experience. Also, I got a story now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta start. If you want to look for the good in that, because I'm a big silver linings person, you encountered a lot of, for general terms, we'll just call it evil, right? You encountered a lot of evil.
A lot of evil, adversity.
And adversity. But you also encountered a hostel that was willing to take you in. You encountered a guy that was willing to give you like shoes, dress shoes. You encountered an embassy of people that showed sympathy. You encountered a lot of good as well, and you survived. So I think that's like, and all in all, like the message that you took away from it is like it got you to write, and got you to eventually own the story of adversity, which is great. It sucks that you had to go through it though.
Yeah, no, and I will say that even leaving there, I remember just being thankful, because initially waking up, I was like, am I gonna make it out of this alive? Like, it was one thing where I was just very thankful.
Perspective.
Yeah, I didn't say I didn't get the vacation I wanted. I got the one I needed.
Yeah.
Okay, sometimes you need a little kick in the ass. And the people I met there, for all the evil I encountered, so to speak, like, I encountered people, very nice people, that were just trying to make sure to get me home safe, because they were like, that's not our country, man. That's not what we're like here. Costa Rica is a beautiful place. Anywhere you go in the world. It could have happened in New York. It could have happened.
Yeah. You were unemployed at the time, right?
No. I was employed, but I was just doing like night shifts, like overtime night shifts, like RC work. So
you go back to your night shift job, and the guy that sees that you're tired but doesn't see like the stitches in the back of your head or your leg. It's just like, need a vacation from your vacation, huh, pal? It's just like, yeah, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's such a trope in work. It's just like, need a vacation from your vacation?
No, but in that scenario, kind of.
Yeah. Which is funny. He doesn't know the whole story.
Oh, no, but what I was going to circle back to before is you were talking about like likable things on stage or whatever. And that is not something I do. Like, I will say, from time to time, our
listeners are shocked right now.
No, but I talk about my fucked up thoughts and theories and observations or whatever, and I try to make them funny. And I think with that, you earn people's trust with time, and you get better at making those things funny. But then sometimes you hit a crowd where there's like, well, I don't like that at all. I played you the tape from Unicorn Bar.
Oh yeah.
Where literally the other night I'm talking about it must have been a dilemma to basically have twins in China before they got rid of that one child policy. If you had one boy, one girl, just kill the girl, duh. Like, whatever. I made the whole thing's just a bit, but they literally very quickly started going, no, that's taboo. That's dark.
So for the, can I paint the picture for the?
Paint it. Yeah,
so for those that don't know, is that like the Unicorn Bar is a bar over in Kingston, New York. They are LGBTQ plus friendly to a very high level, and it is they do an open mic there. And what they'll do is sometimes and in this case, I will say the person that is in the background, or AKA the crowd of this set, is already interrupting Gabe before he says anything that somebody that might be a little sensitive to topics that are supposed to be quote unquote protected. Before he says anything like that, the person is already interrupting you, and then things go awry from there based off of the
I
material.
misgendered somebody.
You misgendered somebody. I didn't know if you wanted me to share it.
No, okay.
You misgendered somebody.
You know what? No, let's talk about it.
Okay. We'll conclude with the misgendering.
This was Gary Busing.
Gary Busey. Is it Busing or Busey?
I think it's Busey. I think you're right.
Okay.
This was Gary Busey with if he grew his hair out.
Okay.
The deepest voice. I mean, you only heard the voice memo, so you even could tell whatever. But they're just heckling me throughout this. They just keep saying stuff throughout the set. They're very drunk, and at one point, I've been trying to just keep a calm demeanor and pace myself on stage. Like throughout this, I feel like I'm just more. I mean, just talking how I talk, how we talk. But,
yeah, that's how we talk.
But they keep interrupting, and at one point, I just go, "Thank you, sir," and they go, "It's ma'am."
Which, by the way, every straight white guy's fear when they're addressing somebody in a place like that, by the way, is like, oh no, I just ruined this, you know?
But I was doing my best where I was just like, my apologies, what's your name? And they say, Lucy. Because part of the reason I asked that is my brother has a great theory with the way to avoid misgendering people, learn their name.
Yeah.
Instead of having to say he did this, she did this, Lucy did this.
Yeah, when I was starting to work a public facing job and the topic of like pronouns became very like prevalent and people were getting attacked for it, that's when I started saying friends. Actually,
hey,
I was like, "Hey, friends, how's it going, friends?" You know, like, and I started saying my friend, but then I realized I should stop saying that because I was saying that to brown people, and I was like, I don't know if they think I'm just saying it for them, you know, like as like a subtle racism, you know, like. So I stopped doing that as well.
No, I can relate
friends.
because that's exactly when I started referring to them all as enemies.
Those
or
people.
Nemesis.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm like, what's your name? They go, Lucy, also known as Earth Child Fire something something. And I was like, I'm gonna call you Lucy. And then I just keep going with the set or whatever. They interrupt maybe 2 to 3 seconds later. I'm like, fucking killing me, Earth, Wind, Fire.
Which I love, by the way.
Yeah, no, it did not get what it deserved in the room.
No.
I will say this.
Crickets.
From there, I'm just trying to push through the set or whatever. I do a joke that I had tried there because I'd been one other time prior where they also did not like me. We're not very welcoming. You know, for a group that's all about inclusivity, they're not very inclusive of anyone that's not their kind.
It is tough when you step out of line.
No.
Yeah.
But I did a joke about, I'm like, my dog bit the mailman. In my dog's defense, we have a black autistic mailman.
Yeah.
And someone was like, Earth, Wind, Fire goes like, is your dog black? And I saved it a little bit in the room because they didn't love the joke. And I was like, I mean, my dog's name is ASAP Roxy. And they're like, whatever. And then one of our comedian friends, Phoenix, her friend that came with her starts heckling me and goes, dogs don't dislike black people. That's ignorant. There's something like that. And I was just like, never met my dog.
Now, Phoenix is
local Kingston comedian.
Yep.
Killer.
Also
very
black.
Funny.
Was Phoenix's friend black?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it'd be funny if it was a white person trying to say that when you can hear in the audio, Phoenix clearly laughs pretty hard when she hears that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn joke, dude. It's what like.
No, but it's also just like, I've talked about this with so many comics. It's like white people get the most upset when any kind of race topic comes
offended
up.
on behalf of somebody else.
Yeah, and it's like,
and that's a
dude.
big thing of this unicorn bar. It's a lot of soapboxy stand up where it's like, so I told my parents that I was gay at 26, and they were like, "Sure you are, Sarah," or whatever, and then like, ha ha ha, like that's their comedy. So then I come in and do like jokes, and they do not enjoy it.
Yeah.
Funny enough, dude, take a full circle with the whole everything that was going on. Saturday rolled around. I'm still like processing this news we had dropped on us.
Bringing it back.
yeah, I have to. You'll understand why. But I Google Kingston open mics because I'm just trying to find, is there something on Saturdays, which is why I ended up doing Rhino Saturday night.
Okay.
But first thing that pops up is Kingston, a news story I hadn't seen. I'd heard about it. Christina told me about it, but it's resurgence of comedy in Kingston. And I click on the story and they profile a couple of different people throughout it. One of the things they profile in it, Unicorn Bar. And their whole thing is just about like, we love people of all types. I'd say we're actually more hetero than we are LGBT. And I was just like, are you? Are you?
Yeah, are you though? Yeah.
Are you though? Because that's not the vibe I've gotten.
Yeah.
They've gotten quite the opposite, but you know what I mean? I'm not trying to sound like a bitter fuck. I listened to that. I've listened to it back the next day, and it's one of those things where I was able to just laugh, and I was like, hey, I held my composure. I did my thing. Like, I understand I'm not going to be for everybody. Like, that's okay. It was more so annoying that they weren't giving me the shot even initially. Like, they were just not. They were in a polite crowd to begin with. Like, you're not supposed to just keep speaking throughout someone's set.
Yeah, a lot of crowds don't recognize that. It is a performance, not an interaction. It's kind of an interaction, but your contribution is to laugh. You know, not like not they're like they're not supposed to do. I will say, like, I think going forward, it would be badass to like learn how to recover from something like that. On stage, but that's just not going to happen in 5 minutes, you know. And when they kind of, I remember listening, they played you off a little early, I think.
They did not let me finish my last joke.
Yeah, so.
And they, even midway through the set, the host was just like, can you do other material, like something different than this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, because I understand David's train of thought, because I have anytime I've been in an adversarial situation like this, I have an angel and a devil on my shoulder. One's going like, all right, like they're getting upset, like maybe we change up what we were gonna do tonight, or we do this. And then the devil on my shoulder wants to bust out. They're like, you guys like dogs?
Yeah.
And just to catch the listener up, I have a joke that it's almost exclusively
Brace yourselves.
exclusively for bad crowds. If there's a crowd where people are just not paying attention, or they piss me off enough, I'll just be like, all right, you know, I'm not trying to be so divisive on stage. Let's talk dogs. Everyone likes dogs, right? I love dogs. Like, you love dogs. I was thinking, like, when a dog has sex missionary, do you think they call it human style? And you might be thinking, Gabe, dogs don't have sex missionary. Well, they do when I fuck them. And I do that joke when it's like a crowd that's not paying attention, because nothing will get a crowd's attention faster than saying I fuck dogs. Which, again, this goes back to the, like, don't take everything I'm saying up here verbatim or seriously.
Character a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, there are certain things, inflections in my life that I bring to stage, but we are not our thoughts. We have some fucked up thoughts. I, for years, I have a small puppy. I love my small puppy. For years, I've seen small puppies and had the thought, punt. Like,
yeah.
Do I punt puppies? No. And the difference being, some of us are more in touch with that and willing to dredge on those topics, and some of us aren't.
I like to think I'm very friendly on stage, but like my large history of work is just customer service, and I've shared this with you before. But like, when I worked at the gym, I'd be standing behind the counter, and I'd have this older woman just berating me. And the only thing that keeps me like pleasant is knowing that I'm a big dumb animal that's choosing not to hurt her. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I could totally just beat this person to death.
I will beat you, and then I will tell them that you fell and that you're senile.
Yeah, or
they're gonna believe me.
I'll do it in front of everybody, and nobody here is physically strong enough to stop me. So like, it'll be horrible for everybody. But like, I don't do that, and I'm like, oh, I'm a great person for not doing that. But, you know, it's just like one of those things where, like, I feel great because, like, I have that choice and I choose not to do that. And I should be treated like a great person.
No, and that's something where I've come to, it's funny you say that, that's where I've come to peace with it, because more times than not, I run into people that enjoy comedy, enjoy stand-up, they tend to like my material. Like, I've gotten compliments where it's like, dude, the topics you're talking about are not easy things to make funny, and you're making them funny. Like, keep doing your thing. The people that don't like it, fuck them. Like, that's not for them. That's okay.
Yeah.
Like, they're not who I'm looking to have come watch me anyways. And sometimes I would let their disapproval get to me, but I know my intention. I know I'm a good person.
Yeah.
Like, I know I look out for my fellow man. I give them papers on the streets when they ask me for papers.
Hell yeah.
So at the end of the day, like, you gotta be at peace with yourself. You start off doing stand up and you do want to people please and do well, and I still want to do well, but I do it for myself more than anything else. Like, it's a big part of, like, it's my happy place. You know what I mean? That's my safe haven. That's why something terrible happens and I'm like, I've got the perfect joke, and so be it. Like, that's. Yeah,
it's how we process things. I'll wrap up because we got to get out of here and I got to get to work. But I do want to close on a note about the Kingston situation that's going on. I will reiterate this for anybody that is listening, and maybe there's only 5 people listening. Maybe a ton of people are hearing this because of whatever drama is happening by the time this airs. But please understand that people are innocent until proven guilty, and they need to be treated as so with respect. We're all still human beings. It's very unfortunate what is happening or allegedly happening. But and we will make jokes about this going forward. We have to. It's how we process things. And if the person that is the subject of this content, if you hear this,
we love you.
We do care.
We love you.
Yeah,
we're praying for you. We're on your side. I'll even say this: even whether innocent or guilty, like still my brother. I still love you. And like, if whatever had taken place, you know what I mean, unfortunately is real, then like I just hope that person gets whatever help they need, whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's not the case or whatever, then like I hope damn well that God, Buddha, Allah, whoever, the powers that be, make sure that the right things happen here. You know what I mean? Like
I'm gonna wish you the best and hope that you're okay. I hope whatever it is gets help, but also like understand that these are the results of actions, and like I really hope that these are false accusations and everything's okay. But yeah, we care about you. We really do care about you, and not to bring it down to like a really sad tone to end.
I was gonna say no. I want to. Can I got it? Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I land the plane here?
Sure. And then I'll read the exit.
Because I'm gonna reiterate.
We
love you. We care about you. And if you do pass on to the other side, just know defense attorney Joseph.
Plug your show.
Defense attorney Joseph. Gotcha, bud.
Yeah. Bailiff Moses, who's the character I play.
By the way, I got to quickly before we go up, you killed that dude. It's one of those things. David is an amazing actor.
No, I'm not.
No. Don't let him talk to this because you know what it is? You're physical acting. Like the looks you were shooting Jeff and the people throughout the room throughout it. I don't know if you watched the edit yet, but there's
I did.
You're a little silly, dude. You nailed it.
I appreciate the solo shot you have of me just like
doing a little
turning
jig.
to the look to the jury like as you're transitioning scenes. You chose a clip of me just turning my head. A zoom in. Okay, Likable is filmed and recorded with Radio Free Rhinecliff. Thank you to Jen Hammod and Matt Rosenberg, our producers, and thank you to the Epicurean, which hosts us for each episode. Come in, stop and shop, or catch us on the air. Likable is a comedy-based podcast where experts in absolutely nothing and should not be taken seriously. I'm going to emphasize that. We should not be taken seriously. Consider this your daily dose of questionable wisdom and guaranteed hilarity or sometimes thoughtfulness. Proceed with caution and a healthy dose of skepticism. Gabe, thank you very much for coming on.
David, thank you for having me.
All right, cue that music.